All right, as we continue our coverage of Attorney General Barr's commitment to review all the FBI, DOJ conduct in the Russia probe, we always make the distinction, not rank and file. Not at all. I have an FBI flag pin here. In solidarity with the 99.9%, it is the world's premier law enforcement agency, by far. Joining us now, Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman, Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator, I went through it all. You heard the Attorney General today. Right. We've already known a lot of this, but now it's all coming out.
Right. Well, so, what did the Attorney General say today? He's going to look at how all this got started. There's no doubt they were spying on Trump's people in campaign. The question was it lawful? The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act allows you to follow around people you think are working with a foreign government. Counterintelligence investigation, by very definition, is surveilling people that you think are spying. So the question was it lawful?
Well, was it? No.
Well, we'll see. I tell you this, if the warrant was based on the dossier, that wasn't lawful. Well, and I don't know why they did not tell Trump about people on his campaign working for Russia, if they really believe that.
I actually read something. I know there's something that exists. It's called the Grassley-Graham memo.
Yeah.
Might be somebody you know in there. And in that, the bulk of information for the FISA application was, in fact, Hillary Clinton's bought and paid for Russian dossier. When they presented it to the FISA court, they never told the court she paid for it. They never told the court it was unverified. And by the way, we now know unverifiable because Steele doesn't stand by his own dossier. And so they never verified it. And they denied Carter Page's constitutional rights by committing a fraud on the court. Is there anything wrong with what I just said?
Well, what you said and what we can prove are two different things. I believe that the dossier is unverified to this day. I have a reason to believe it was the main reason the warrant was issued. I believe the court was never told it was paid for by a political party and that the person prepared it hated Trump. I believe that the counterintelligence investigation is questionable at best, and I still don't know why they would not tell Trump, hey, a couple of people in your campaign may be working with the Russians, like they told Feinstein about somebody on in her office working with the Chinese. None of this adds up. Barr's going to look at it. I'm going to look at it. Horowitz is going to look at it. Can I make one point about obstruction of justice?
Yeah.
The Mueller team charged a lot of people with crimes. He has the ability to charge people with crimes. He chose not to charge Trump for a reason. He didn't think he could prove a crime. So Mueller charges a bunch of people with crimes. He gets some convictions. He chose not to charge President Trump with obstruction for a reason. Not enough evidence.
The general counsel, meaning the top lawyer at the FBI under Comey, believed Hillary should have been indicted. I think that investigation needs to begin anew now that we know the players, their political biases, and also the fact that it's real. We know there were classified materials. We know it's illegal. And then if Democrats care about obstruction, look at Hillary's email server, subpoenaed emails. Here's the thing, though. It can't be verified. As a matter of fact, most of it's been debunked in terms of the dossier. And the reason it can't be verified is because the author, he won't even stand by his own dossier when he was put under oath in an interrogatory in Great Britain. So we know that was false. And Comey signed the first warrant application in October of 2016, went to Trump Tower in January of 2017, then President-elect Trump, and said he said it's not verified but salacious. So did Comey lie to Trump then, or did he lie on the FISA application? But he lied on one of those occasions.
Well, the point is that we're going to look at all this and put it on the record for history's sake and try to deter other people from doing this. So if, in fact, the dossier is unverified to this day, which I believe, how could you use it to get a warrant against an American citizen 4 times? If you really told Trump, here it is, we can't verify it, why would you use the same document before a court to say, we believe it's accurate enough to get a warrant? If you really believe that Trump's campaign was being infiltrated by Russians, why didn't you tell him so he could do something about it? And how could Clinton get away with all of this and not have anything, no charges at all, when the average person would probably be in jail now? I think it has a lot to do about a political bias.
Andrew McCabe, no dossier, no FISA warrant. Their words, not mine. Last thing. Huge day the one man that was on the world stage for many years alone, identifying evil in our time, was the Churchillian figure of Prime Minister Netanyahu. He won a big victory yesterday.
He's beyond Churchill now. He's a legend and great outcome for the United States. Bibi is the most reliable partner for the United States in the world, a strong man in a tough neighborhood. I'm glad he won. God bless him. Look forward to working with him.
And now with Trump as the biggest supporter of Israel in modern times, Jerusalem, the Golan Heights, the world's a safer place. Thank you, Senator.
Bad day for the Ayatollah. Bad day for the Ayatollah.
I'm so sad to hear that.
Yeah, you'll get over it.
Congressman Matt Gaetz represents the state of Florida in the United States Congress, and we're happy to have him tonight. Congressman, thanks very much for coming on. So it's clear that in order to restore public faith in the most powerful institutions of government, we need to find out what happened here. Why don't we know?
Well, one of the reasons is that we haven't had the Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coats, actually lay out for us what was in the transcripts taken by the House Intelligence Committee where they interviewed Clapper, where they interviewed Comey and McCabe and Brennan. And we ought to have that information. He's been sitting on it for 4 months, and we need to get it out.
Fascinating. Wait, I didn't know that, and I'm
Over
grateful to hear.
50 transcripts have been voted out of the House Intelligence Committee to be declassified so that we can get to the bottom of where the lies existed and how this terrible investigation
So why
started.
hasn't Coats made those public?
4 months, we're still waiting. But I think there's a bigger problem in the Congress. We have to be able to rely on the Intelligence Committee and the leadership of that committee because, as the American people know, every member of Congress does not see every piece of intelligence. Right. I have filed legislation today, sent to the House, that Adam Schiff needs to be removed from the Intelligence Committee because how are the rest of us supposed to be able to rely on a man who you just showed lied to the American people when he said that there wasn't spying, or when he lied and said there was actual evidence of collusion or clear evidence of collusion? If Adam Schiff is able to review covert operations and intelligence, and if we have to be able to rely on his representations, our whole system is broken. I mean, it would be like putting Lori Laughlin in charge of the College Board. It would be like putting Jussie Smollett in charge of the hate crime division of the FBI. You know, we have got to remove Adam Schiff from the intelligence.
In 35 years of watching Congress, I have never seen a member of Congress with lower personal integrity than Adam Schiff. And it's shocking to me that he chairs that committee. Is there any hope of unseating him from that?
I think that Nancy Pelosi and just your rank-and-file Democrats have to feel the pressure from this. Their constituents have to ask them, how are you going to be able to make decisions in the best interest of our country and our district if it's Adam Schiff that you're listening to get characterizations and representations on the quality of the intelligence and whether or not it should justify congressional action?
I want to just explain to our viewers, we have on the screen the name of this act, the Pencil Act, Preventing Extreme Negligence with Classified Information Licenses.
For our favorite pencil, Tucker.
That's exactly. Is there any, I mean, you stride the halls of Congress. Is there any Democrat who, behind the scenes, off the record, you don't need to reveal names, agrees with you that a committee this sensitive should not be chaired by someone like Adam Schiff?
There are Democrats in Congress who feel betrayed because, like the rest of the country, they were told that there was actual evidence of collusion, that this was going to happen. And a lot of those very Democrats went out on a limb in the campaign and promised their voters that this evidence would be turned up. Now we know the whole deal was fake. It was a lie. And really, I think a lot of the narrative has been a cover-up for the fact that under the Obama administration, our intelligence community got so politicized at the upper levels that they allowed political opposition research to justify something that should never happen in this country. And you're right, it should never happen from either side. But the only way we're going to be able to get to that solution set is if we actually reform this process that allows secret courts to be able to abridge our rights.
And that's something that we sort of signed up for without thinking through it after 9/11, correct?
Yeah, but I think we're going to be rethinking it. I think the American people want to know how we got here, and they want to make sure we're never here again.
How could you have a secret court in a democracy?
And you don't even know what the judges believe. They go through no public confirmation process, and the opinions are never made public. So even 20 years later, you're unable to ascertain what was the doctrine that was guiding the most powerful tools in our government to be turned against our citizens in the absence of the transparency that democracy requires.
That is such a smart and true and good point, and I hope you will keep making it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Here now, Bill Bennett, Fox News contributor and host of the Bill Bennett podcast. Bill, good to see you tonight. You think that what happened today in that room was really a game changer in this whole story?
It could be, very well could be, politically, the political impact. Now, Bill Barr wasn't speaking as a political figure, he was speaking as an attorney general. But the reason, you described the reaction as fierce, Martha. the reason that heads were knocked back, as Juan put it, was because the wheel was turning. For 2 years, Donald Trump and his reputation have been taking a beating, bang, 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 punch after punch. Today, Bill Barr turned the wheel and said there was spying going on. And it wasn't by the Trump administration. It was maybe by the Obama administration or the Obama FBI. But certainly there are facts there. We know that Carter Page was wiretapped by the FBI. We know that Stephen Halper, went to London to talk to Papadopoulos. So we know this took place. Why? That's what Bill Barr is going to find out. But yeah, it could be a game changer because people have been watching and seeing the way the tide has been going, and today Bill Barr might have turned it. You're a mom, a football mom, Notre Dame football mom. You're on offense or you're on defense. Today may signal the day that the Trump administration went on offense and not the 2 years of defense they've had to play.
What did you think about the, sort of all-out blowback on the character of Bill Barr that you heard earlier from some of the folks on the Hill today?
Yeah, well, Juan cited as his witnesses, Jerry Nadler and Senator Warner. It's not exactly unanimous across the board in America. They're all Democrats.
He emphasized Senator Warner.
Yeah, but he did not answer your question. Why would Bill Barr sully a lifelong reputation? Perhaps he didn't sully it. Perhaps he was telling the truth as the Attorney General, and this bears looking into. Look, we have all known that there were these things going on. We all know that there was this surveillance going on. We know about Strzok and Page and all that. What he is saying is based on what he has seen, and he's not done yet, that there was spying going on. Now, he was accused, I noticed right away, well, how can he say that without saying why? He said he will say why at a future time once the inquiry is concluded. The most amazing thing to me...
Go ahead.
Well, the most amazing thing to me was the run of Democrats. I was watching Fox all afternoon saying, how can he say that without evidence? What have we been hearing for 2 years about Donald Trump? But collusion turned out not to be evidence. Bill Barr says he has evidence, and you will see it.
And they have all, exactly. That's been the thing that I've just been sort of wanting some more caution and slowdown on this as we go through, because people say they really want to see the report. We all really want to see the report. So now, everybody who was clamoring to see the report now sort of is suggesting that, that he's not telling the truth about what's in the report. Let's see, let's take a look at it. Let's see what comes out, and let's take it from there as this whole thing moves forward. Everybody seems to be wanting to jump the gun very early here, and I think that it is a big question about why he would jeopardize his reputation, which he's built over all these years, if he didn't feel like he was basing his statements on something substantial. So we shall see.
We also have another reputation, which is Mr. Horowitz, who will the Inspector General at Justice, and he will give his report in May or June. Let the facts come out. Let the facts come out.
Bill Bennett, always good to see you, sir. Thank you very much.
Good to be back, Martha. Thank you.